Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Sam's33 here, and welcome to the show about Pokemon TCG stuff mix-up, and today is our 50th episode, and you may be wondering why I'm not in a live-action shot like I usually am at the intro of every episode, and no, it's not some kind of change I'm doing to the show for the 50th episode. It's because I was stupid and forgot to record the live-action footage before I went off to Massachusetts for the spring regionals there, so, yeah, I'm currently in the hotel room right now, the day before the event. You guys should be seeing this sometime around when regionals happen. But anyway, today's episode is on Manaphy from Plasma Storm. Yeah, it's an interesting little card, several different uses for it, and it also just so happens that Manaphy is unbelievably adorable. So, yeah. I guess we should get on to the main bulk of the show, so yeah. Let's go do that right now. Today's topic, Manaphy, may not be as rogue of a concept as you think. A Keldeo Blastoise deck that won a state championships featured Manaphy. Crazy, huh? I doubted Manaphy's competitive capabilities myself, and it goes on to win a states. So, what's so great about Manaphy anyways? Manaphy has 70 HP, a lagging weakness, and 1 retreat. Its ability, Final Wish, lets you search your deck for a card, but only if Manaphy gets knocked out by damage. Notice how I said, by damage. This is actually a pretty huge flaw with Manaphy. With more and more decks featuring Hypnotoxic Laser, Manaphy could very easily be knocked out by Poison, which does not activate Final Wish. But, Final Wish is just a perk. Its Manaphy's attack is what we're here to look at. Seafaring costs 1 water energy, and lets you flip 3 coins, and each head lets you attach a water energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. It's not exactly easy to get 2 or 3 water energy in your discard early in the game, which is usually the main purpose of a card like this, a faster, less powerful energy accelerator that complements your slower, more powerful one. But one of the main perks of Manaphy is that it's energy acceleration that works without an ability. You see where I'm going with this, right? Garbodor isn't exactly Blastoise's most favorable matchup, but Manaphy gives you a greater chance of beating the deck. There are several flaws with Manaphy. Blastoise decks don't typically run switching cards, aside from the rare Scramble Switch, so if you don't start with Manaphy, you're going to have to wait for something of yours to get knocked out, or manually retreat your active Pokemon before you can start using Manaphy. There's also the problem of coin flips. Only need 1 head to knock out that Landorus that's wrecking your field? Nope! Get sweeped, noob! But with a format dominated by this card, flips should be the least of your problems. But despite these flaws, the card has many solid uses, and I'm here today to discuss Manaphy's many uses. The first way I used Manaphy was in a Keldeo Blastoise deck without Black Kyurem. Discarding lightning energy that could have been water would weaken Manaphy's power. When trying this out, I was also searching for a way for Blastoise to work without Tropical Beach. So let's see if that works out. Here's the list I used for the deck. There are only 3 Squirtle in this list, as opposed to 4. This is mainly to decrease your odds of starting with a Squirtle, as opposed to Manaphy. Speaking of, my Manaphy count is 3, to give you decent odds of starting with one. You may want to up this count to 4 if you're a big fan of a Manaphy start. Now, about Kyogre EX. Yeah. Kyogre was supposed to be a Garbodor counter. Think about it, if they have 2 Garbodor or Trubbish out, you can dual splash them both, then tool scrapper the rescue Scarch Slash Giant Capes away, and they're both dead. Or just don't scrap them at all if they have Eviolite or Rocky Helmet on them. This attack actually works very well against Garbodor. I would recommend at least trying it out if you're afraid of Garbodor. This could also be paired with a catcher to stall while you do this. This big play would hopefully allow you to just sweep with Keldeo EX. It can also work against the Electric, but more players are starting to play Zekrom, so that might be a bad idea. The high Ultra Ball count is to help get energy in the discard. 2 Tool Scrapper helps a lot against Garbodor. Garbodor is very prevalent in my area, and if I were to play this in a tournament, I would be as prepared as possible for Garbodor. So is Manaphy worth the 3 spots in my deck? Manaphy has been working out pretty well in the deck, but I have been missing my old friend Black Kyurem. So let's put him back in and try it out. I have the Manaphy count to 4 to increase the chance of starting with it. The reason I lowered the energy retrieval count instead of just taking out an energy is because when I played the first version of this deck, I had hands in the first few turns where I had to discard an energy retrieval instead of an energy. This, of course, is bad when you could use that energy for Seafaring. So, the results. Black Kyurem is as good as always, and it didn't really mess with my consistency very much. But even with 4 Manaphy, you'll still only start with it 1/3 of the time, and even if you do start with it, it's not exactly easy to get 1 or 2 energy in the discard. So with that in mind, I thought, hey, why not just have one Manaphy? That way it doesn't clog up space in my deck, but I still have access to it if I can't attack that turn. And after having that thought, I decided, hey, maybe I should play it in a deck. And then after that I thought, hey, this joke is getting really redundant. Here's what the deck ended up looking like. Not much else to say about the list. It's just a standard Blastoise list without Tropical Beach, which at this point I've just given up on Tropical Beach. There's pretty much no hope of me using one of those things for a tournament in this format. The Manaphy hasn't been of too much help so far, but I haven't played this list too much, and I could see this being useful a few times. Now, you may be shocked by this, but there are other ways to use Manaphy. This idea I kind of stole from Asa Juntunen, the 6-time Finland national champion, whose blog you can check out in the description because YouTube annotations are stupid. But it's a pretty simple idea anyways, so I probably would have thought of the idea eventually. This idea is to cut out the Blastoise in the deck and just go straight Manaphy and Ethers, with a little added help from Victini to help with your coin flips. Here's a list to give you an idea of what I'm going with the deck. 4 Manaphy is for an optimal chance of starting with it. As I said before, Victini helps for those moments where you get 3 tails and you just wasted your entire turn. The 1 Mewtwo is there as a way to get rid of Mewtwo's that think they can just barge in here with a couple double Corollas and a laser every turn and sweep all your Pokemon. Since you've got Ethers, Lunatone is an obvious inclusion. 4 Ultra Ball helps you discard energy for Seafaring, as well as getting either the Pokemon you're going to use Seafaring on, or your Manaphy that's going to be Seafaring. If you're using a source of energy acceleration, you'd better be sure you're getting the most out of it, which is the reason there's 4 Ether in the deck. This is where my list and Ace's list differ a bit. Ace's list had no Pokedex and just used Lunatone to take advantage of Ether. I personally don't think Lunatone is reliable enough, and Pokedex just works a whole lot better in my opinion. I also included 3 switching cards as opposed to Ace's 2. I don't see yourself starting with Manaphy all that often, and if you don't, boy are you going to have a tough time using Seafaring on your first turn with only 2 switching cards. The single energy switch can be used to get that energy that's stuck on Manaphy off of there, or just as a clutch card in general. Random Receiver isn't used very often nowadays, unless you're playing Darkrai, but this deck gets so much power from a turn 1 Juniper that Bianca's and Sharon's wouldn't be very helpful in Random Receiver's place. Computer Search is another card you can use to discard energy, and help you get a turn 1 Manaphy, or a turn 2 Keldeo. Scramble Switch also seems like a good idea as well, but with Ethers giving your bench Pokemon energy, and Russian for a switch anytime, Computer Search seems like the better option. You may notice the astonishing 16 water energy and a DCE thrown in there as well. With 16 energy, it should be pretty easy to get an Ultra Ball and 2 water energy in your hand at the same time. The 1 double Colorless should be enough for those times you can't get an energy and an Ether off that turn. Oh yeah, the results. I don't know how Asa likes this deck so much. It doesn't really hit very hard, it isn't exactly consistent in getting a turn 1 Seafaring, and it has a lot of free prizes for your opponent, such as Victini, Lunatone, and even Manaphy if it's their last prize. The deck has a very solid matchup against Garbodor, and a decent one against Big Basics, but every other deck creams it, whether it be Rails and Blastoise's power, the lack of a Clang Clang counter, or Darkrai's ability to take 4 prizes in 2 turns. If you want a deck that's good against Garbodor and Big Basics, play what I did for New Jersey States. It definitely works a lot better than this. And that's going to be a wrap, folks, on our 50th episode of Mix Up. I thank you all for watching. I hope to see you guys, I guess, at Massachusetts regionals. If you guys are going, if you're not going, good luck at all, whatever event you're going to this weekend. If you're seeing this before regionals, if you're seeing it after regionals, I hope you did well, hope you had fun. I'm sure I'm going to have fun. I'm also sure I'm going to have something stupid happen to me, but, you know, that's what Pokemon events do to me, sometimes. Well, always. But yeah, next week should be a report on my, not next week, but next time I post an episode, either next week or the week after, will be a report on regionals happening tomorrow, Saturday, the spring regionals. As I said, I'm in Massachusetts. If you see me there, say hi. I always like to meet fans because, you know, it's astonishing to me that I have fans, and seeing them makes me kind of happy. Smile. You can't see my smile, but I'm smiling. So, yeah. Hopefully Manaphy will be good sometime in the future. In my opinion, it's not very good. And some people like it, including Mr. Asa, or Mr. Juntinman, or whatever how you pronounce his last name. Anyway, sorry if I offended Asa or any other Finnish people. Whatever. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time for my regionals report. Later.